Everyone's talking about France. Some are backing Argentina. A few still believe Brazil will find a way. But what if the next team to dominate world football is already right in front of us? Because while the spotlight follows the usual giants, Spain have quietly built something that looks frighteningly familiar. A young superstar in Lamine Yamal, a squad packed with elite talent, and a football system that keeps producing winners year after year. This isn't just about one great team. Spain are reigning European champions, their women are reigning world champions, and their youth teams keep stacking trophies. That's not a hot streak, that's a football machine, and if the signs are pointing anywhere, they might be pointing toward another Spanish era. But before we continue, make sure to like and subscribe for breakdowns and updates, and let's get into it. Spain's last great dynasty didn't happen overnight. Between 2008 and 2012, they won 2 European Championships and the 2010 World Cup, becoming the team everyone wanted to copy. Then the magic faded, the legends moved on, and Spain spent years searching for the next generation. Now, the signs look very familiar. Spain are once again European champions after winning Euro 2024, and this time the core of the team is incredibly young. Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and Pedri are all under 23, yet they're already carrying games at the highest level. That's what makes this story so interesting. Most champions peak and then decline. Spain seem to have hit refresh, and the part for everyone else to worry about is that this isn't a team built veterans squeezing out one last run. It's a team built around players who could still be leading Spain 5 or even 10 years from now. If Euro 2024 was the warning shot, the rest of world football should be paying very close attention. Because what we're seeing might not be a comeback. It might be the beginning of another Spanish takeover. And if you think this is only about the senior team, that's where things get even more worrying for Spain's rivals. The real story is happening underneath. Spain's youth system keeps producing champions. At under-19 level, both the men's and women's national teams are reigning European champions. The men's side reached another U19 European Championship final against the Netherlands, while the women's team reached another final against France. For the Spanish women, a 4th straight U19 European title was on the line. Think about that. When one generation wins, that's impressive. When generation after generation keeps winning, that becomes a system. And Spain's pipeline doesn't stop there. Their men's team qualified for the U20 World Cup, while their women's side qualified for the U17 World Cup. That's exactly why many football nations should be nervous. The stars we know today won't be the last wave. There's another group already coming through the door. Most countries hope to produce one golden generation. Spain might be producing them on repeat. And that's the difference between a great team and a football machine. Now let's talk about the moment that changed everything. Euro 2024 wasn't one of those tournaments where a team scraped through with luck and penalties. Spain completely owned it. They won all 7 matches. They scored 15 goals, the highest total in the tournament. And look at the teams they beat along the way: Italy, Germany, France, and England. That's basically a tour of European football royalty. But the most interesting part wasn't the results. It was how they did it. For years, Spain became predictable. They controlled possession, but struggled to break teams down. At the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, they dominated the ball, but still crashed out. Luis de la Fuente changed that. Spain kept their technical identity, but added pace, directness, and unpredictability through players like Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. Yamal alone was involved in 5 of Spain's 15 goals during the tournament. Suddenly, Spain weren't just controlling games, they were hurting teams. And when a nation combines elite possession with real attacking threat, that's when trophies start arriving again. But every great football era eventually gets a face. For Spain, that face might be Lamine Yamal. At Euro 2024, he wasn't just another talented youngster. He was one of the reasons Spain became champions. He was involved in 5 of Spain's 15 goals, producing 4 assists and that stunning semi-final equaliser against France. And what should worry the rest of the world is that Yamal wasn't even 18. By the time the 2026 World Cup arrives, he'll still only be 18 years old, but with a European Championship already on his reign. That's ridiculous. What makes him dangerous isn't just the talent, it's the unpredictability. Sometimes he stays wide, sometimes he drifts inside, sometimes he combines with Nico Williams. Defenders never seem fully comfortable. Even Spain's own teammates talk about the effect he has. During Euro 2024, while older players felt the pressure, Yamal was dancing, joking, and enjoying the moment. That energy spread through the squad, and now he's entering the World Cup as the new face of global football. Spain have great players everywhere, but if Yamal keeps developing at this pace, they might also have the player every opponent fears most when the lights get brightest. The part that explains why Spain keeps producing winners is that the talent isn't appearing from nowhere. The Barcelona influence is still everywhere. Since 2008, Spain have won 3 European Championships and 1 World Cup. According to the data, Barcelona's football identity has been at the heart of that success. Fast forward to today, and the pattern hasn't changed. Luis de la Fuente's most important players include Lamine Yamal and Pedri. Beyond them, players like Gavi, Dani Olmo, Ferran Torres, Pau Cubarsí, Eric Garcia and Joan Garcia all come from the same football environment. In fact, heading into the World Cup, 8 of Spain's most important players are playing within Barcelona's system. That matters. International managers spend very little time with their squads. When so many key players already understand the same ideas, movements and patterns, the national team can look more like a club side than a collection of stars. That's a massive advantage. While other countries are still trying to build chemistry during international breaks, Spain already have it. And when a national team starts functioning like a club team, that's usually when the rest of the football world starts getting nervous. And another big reason Spain's rise feels different from most football success stories is that this isn't built around one generation. It's built around a system. Spain's men are European champions. Spain's women are world champions. At U19 level, both the men's and women's teams are reigning European champions. That's success across every level of the game. The investment in youth development, infrastructure and player pathways is producing results everywhere, and the philosophy stays remarkably consistent. Spanish football continues to prioritise technical quality, defined roles, organised combination play and ball-oriented defending. It's an identity that runs through clubs, youth teams and the national side. The coaching production line is just as impressive. Spanish managers dominated European competitions, with 11 reaching the last 16 across UEFA tournaments in one season. Coaches like Pep Guardiola, Luis Enrique, Xabi Alonso, Unai Emery and Cesc Fabregas continue influencing football across Europe. That's why Spain's dominance keeps resurfacing. Players change, managers move, generations come and go, but the football culture stays. And when the foundation is this strong, success stops looking like luck. It starts looking inevitable. By this point, the picture starts becoming impossible to ignore. Spain aren't just winning tournaments. They're setting the standard. Look at the numbers. Spanish clubs lead European football with 20 Champions League titles, 14 Europa League titles, and 17 UEFA Super Cups. No other country sits at the top of all 3 competitions, and it doesn't stop there. Spain also lead the European Championship rankings with 4 titles, more than any other nation. That's not dominance from one club. That's dominance from an entire football culture. Even the coaching influence is spreading everywhere. Spanish managers were the most represented nationality in the last 16 of UEFA competitions, with 11 coaches involved. From Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique to Xabi Alonso and Unai Emery, Spanish ideas keep showing up at the highest level. Meanwhile, football analysts across Europe are pointing to Spain's model of ball-oriented defending, organised combination play, and clearly defined roles as the benchmark. That's why Spain's success feels bigger than trophies. Other countries are trying to catch up. Spain already built the blueprint. And when the rest of football starts copying what you're doing, that's usually a sign you're leading the game. And that brings us to the uncomfortable truth. Spain might just be getting started. Right now, they're European champions. Their women are world champions. Their youth teams keep reaching major finals. Their coaching philosophy is influencing clubs across Europe. Their biggest stars are still years away from their peak. That's a frightening combination. Heading into the 2026 World Cup, Spain are already being viewed as one of the main contenders. One forecasting model even gives them the highest probability of winning the tournament, placing them ahead of France, Argentina and Brazil. The reasons are easy to see. Lamine Yamal will be older. Pedri will be entering his prime. Players like Gavi, Nico Williams, Pau Cubarsí and others are still developing. And unlike many international teams, Spain's squad already understands exactly how it wants to play. Of course, football never guarantees anything. Injuries, pressure, and knockout football can change everything in a single night. But that's not really the point. The point is that Spain now have something every great football dynasty starts with: talent, depth, identity, and a production line that refuses to stop. The rest of the world may still be debating whether Spain can dominate football again. Spain are already giving us every reason to believe they can. Spain's rise doesn't look accidental anymore. The trophies, the young stars, the youth teams, and the football philosophy all point in the same direction. From Lamine, Yamal and Pedri to a production line that keeps creating champions, Spain have rebuilt themselves into one of the most dangerous teams on the planet. While most of their biggest talents are still years away from their peak. Maybe they'll win the 2026 World Cup. Maybe they won't. Of course, football has a way of humbling everyone. One injury, one bad night, one moment can change everything. So what do you think? Can this team become the next great football dynasty? Or is there another nation ready to stop them? Do you think Spain are about to start another football dynasty? Make sure to like and subscribe for breakdowns and updates. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.